Assalamu alaikum, guys. This is Ali Bakir Khan again with another episode of Youth Alumni Association. Today we have Usman Arshad with us, and Usman is currently working as a Chief Digital Strategy Officer in UAE with a company. And apart from that, Usman has a very diverse experience in different industries. And today I would thank you so much, Usman, for joining in.
Thank you very much, Ali. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure being here.
Walaikum salam. Likewise. Usman, would you like to share your career journey a little bit? And you were just talking about that you had a session in which youth was just complaining about things that, okay, let's just start off with the right thing, that career counseling and entrepreneurship. This is going to be our discussion. These are the pointers today. So can you throw some light regarding your career journey and how you think these two things can help us out as a nation in Pakistan and across the world as well? Yeah.
Sure. So, Ali, when you have 18 plus or 20 years, then you actually have to think where to start. But so I come from a family background where my father was in the civil service, and within Pakistan we have this culture that whatever your dad does, so you have to end up in that particular field.
Yeah.
And since I was always a very good student, so the pressure was always on me that you have to come through the CSS exams, that is the government service exam in Pakistan, and then you have to join the government. But this was never for me. So I never thought, and I never wanted to stay in the government sector. But because of the pressure, once I did my MBA way back in 2002. And the first thing was that I gave the Public Service Commission exam, passed, and joined the government service. However, within 1.5 years, I finally realized that this is not for me, and this is not something that I want to grow in. So when you're young, when you don't have responsibilities, you tend to make these decisions, and then after that, it has been a journey. I've worked in multiple sectors, multiple geographies. I worked in the aviation sector, so I worked with PIA for a good 3.5 years, and then I worked in AirBlue as well. Since 2009, I have been working as a management consultant with a London-based aviation consulting firm.
Okay.
And we have set up new airlines, we have set up new airports, we have worked on digital transformation of existing airports, we've done rebranding for airlines, and number of projects. But the real change in my career, or the real direction of my career, came in somewhere around 2012-13, because after I did this rebranding projects, and towards the end of my time in PIA, I was first, I got my first interaction with marketing. And I thought that, this is something that I want to do. I just love marketing. And, over the years, during my consulting projects as well, when I did the rebranding projects, I loved it. I mean, because that is the real feel, or the real essence of the entire business, actually. Because, you are actually communicating. You're communicating to the customer. It's a two-way journey. The customer is communicating to you. You're communicating to them. And, if you do it beautifully well, there's nothing like it. And then I realized that, my area will be marketing. And that is something that, I want to pursue my career in. So in 2013, I decided that, with a lot of operational and stamps on my career, that is, he's worked in PIA operations, he's worked in AirBlue operations. I thought that, I need to neutralize my resume. And to do so, I joined the CAS Business School, City University, London, and I did my second MBA from them. It was a global program in the UAE, that's in Dubai and London. So, I moved between these two places. And during this time, I got, a very good opportunity for, this new digital agency that was starting up here in the UAE. And, I basically set it up, started off with just one employee, and then, started working. And the best bit about my journey after that was that, it was a completely new ball game. Before that, the organizations that I was working for, they were all established organizations, they had legacies. but this was something new, so it was more like a startup experience. So you had to do a lot of bootstrapping, you had to
Yeah.
hire people, you
Invest.
had to
Yeah.
do invest, and most importantly, something that now I love was the B2B sales, because I had never worked in sales before. And I remember going out to 10 different companies and just telling them that, hi, my name is Usman, I'm here from this particular digital agency, would you want to do business with us? And I remember that for the first 10 or 11 times, I was just thrown out of the door, and people were saying, we are not interested.
Mm.
So, there is a reason why I'm telling you this. During this MBA that I did, I was introduced to this amazing new area that I love, and I'm a big preacher of it now. It's called storytelling in business.
Okay.
So I got my certification in storytelling in business, and this basically changed my entire overview. It changed my career. It changed the way I talked. It changed the way I did sales.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of me going to a company and telling them that I'm from this particular agency, would you want to work with us? I would go
Yeah.
and I would tell people, my name is Usman, and I'm here to get you more business from social media. Are you interested? And obviously, their answer usually was a yes. So, this basically changed my entire, or it broadened my horizon in a number of ways. And I started doing B2B sales. I worked with bigger clients from the agency side, the Coca-Colas, the Huawei's, the LGs of the
A lot of
world.
experience that you're trying to say.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, and then, later on, this is what I preach, this is what I work on. So, I'm a certified
Usman, one thing, I
storyteller.
mean, what about career
Yeah.
counseling? Because people here have complaints, okay, we guys don't get career counseling. To become an entrepreneur, we don't have that, I mean, potential. I mean, I still remember BSF used to sponsor. I mean, we guys had
Mhm.
a contract with, MOU with Barrier University, and I was working with you at that time. And there were people coming up. And I mean, there are opportunities, but people need to come up and, find themselves. For example, if a student in Barrier University does not know of Center for Entrepreneurship and Leadership, how would we be able to just go ahead and tell them that we are here for you? What do you think about that?
Ali, the major challenge, I've been working with youth for very long, and the
Yeah.
major challenge is not with the opportunity, it's with the mindset.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest challenge that we have is the mindset itself. So once a student gets into a particular university,
Yeah.
the mindset is that they want to come out and they want to work with another company,
Yeah.
and that's the typical mindset, or they want to get into a government job. So I was talking to somebody the other day. I was in Lahore for this marketing symposium, and 35,000, 40,000 computer science graduates graduate every year from Pakistan. And
Yeah.
how many of those are employable?
How many?
Only less than 200.
See,
Because the
that's the whole
remaining
point.
people,
Yeah.
yeah, because the remaining people, they are into the computer science degree, but they do not offer the right value, and that is where the storytelling thing comes in. I think the biggest problem that I see when it comes to career is, it starts with the resume. Let's accept it.
Hmm.
The how do we make resumes? Let's begin. So I want to make a resume. I call up my friend. I say, can you give me your resume? I just need to copy the format. And the result is that if I apply for a particular job, I get 10,000 CVs, and all of those CVs are the same.
Yeah,
We
because
don't
he's the
even
person who's
bother.
getting paid and he's
Yeah,
just spreading it out like in that format. And
exactly.
I just don't get one thing. If you don't even know what your resume is like, how would you be able
Yeah.
to defend it, and how would you be able to appear in an interview?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I ask you a very simple question, Ali. I ask you this question. So, what do
Okay.
you think? What is the objective of getting a resume made? Why do you have a resume?
To hire the right resource. That's it.
So, so you see, that's the general misconception.
Yeah.
The resume is not for hiring. The resume is for getting you an interview.
Yeah. I agree. I
The
agree.
interview gets you
I was
hired.
telling from the
So,
perspective of
yeah,
HR. I mean, of course,
understood.
from
Yeah,
my
yeah,
perspective, you
yeah,
talk about as an individual. Definitely,
yeah.
it's going to be. I mean, of course,
Well,
it's my entry visa. You could say that. Okay, this is
exactly,
going to lead me
exactly. So,
towards that. Yeah.
So it is for getting you an interview.
Yeah.
We think that you get a job on the basis of a resume. It's wrong. So
Hmm.
you need to get the opportunity to get an interview with the interviewer.
It's an
So once
opportunity.
you,
Yeah, I
yes,
agree.
yes, it's an opportunity. So I ask you another question. So what happens if when you go out with your friends, you wear the best of your clothing, you have your hair gel back, you are all perfumed and everything, because that's your picture, that's your persona that you want to show to the people. And for resume, you need to show a persona to get a chance for an interview. And what are you showing? You're showing a profile or a particular CV that just has your name, and whatever is mentioned below is not even yours. So
Hmm.
I've seen people, I hire a lot of marketing people, and my priority is always getting people from Pakistan. Although I can't discriminate here, but that's my priority. That's I'm a diaspora of Pakistan. So, and what I see is that people have written so much on their resume, and when I ask them, okay, can you tell me if you did this, like
I
for
agree.
example, very recently I was doing this interview, and this person mentioned did content management for a particular company. I said, okay, so what sort of content you did? And no answer, or no clear answer. And then I said, okay, what sort of results did that content got you? And again, no answer, because we have overly generalized this. So Ali, my first point, coming back to the youth issue, is while we criticize, while we crave, we say, oh, the system is wrong, we don't get opportunities and all that. The first problem lies with us. I mean, ask yourself. I want all your youth, listening to this. I want to ask them that when was the last time that they actually wrote their own resume? And
Agreed.
when was the last time, on LinkedIn, you just put, keyword on the job search, you add the country, and there comes a zillion job opportunities. Ask your youth, when was the last time that they modified or they customized the resume as per each job requirement? So the job requirement says, I want a salesperson. You're sending in a resume as a finance manager. Why would the company hire you?
Agreed. I
Yeah, so
totally
these are
agree.
very,
Yeah.
very, so
These are
these are very
basics.
basic
These are
things.
basics.
These
And
are
if we
very
are not
basic.
gonna know these things, okay, one thing, Usman, I agree that people are not aware of that. I'll be very honest. I asked a doctor once about the abbreviation of MBBS, and
Mm,
she got confused. She was like, I don't know. I spoke to a person. I asked her about the course. She did it from IBA, I guess, and that wasn't Institute of Business Administration. And she that
mhm,
I don't remember it. Point is that we guys, instead of learning the meaning of the word, start exploring it. Let's, for example, I
mm,
don't even know what America is, what the history of US is, and I just start going there and just start my hustle for no reason. It's like knocking
mm,
doors without even exploring. So even in
mm,
scientific methodology, the first step is observation. You need to observe what's going on in the market. So I think, yes, we guys as youth, we are lacking. I'll be very honest about it. Not even tier 3 or tier 2, even tier 1 institutes. The only upper edge they have is better financial aspects, because due to which they get their counseling done and stuff.
Sorry, Ali, I'll add something else as well. And the second thing is an analytical approach.
Hmm.
Because, I hire
Observation and
people.
analytical approach,
Yes.
yes,
So
that would
this
be hypothesis,
analytical,
you could say, and
yeah,
basically that's how you come towards the
wo-
experimentation part.
exactly.
Yeah, so
So
no,
because, within career, yeah,
my question was,
sorry.
where do
Mhm,
you think our institutes should also come up and tell people? I'm a Ravian, trust me.
mhm,
In our the reason I came from Islamabad Berry University while I was working, I came to Lahore
mhm,
to pursue my education, was because of one thing. Our program had organization based learning in it, in
mhm,
which student who's at the bottom and student who's at the top, all of them are supposed to make sure that they work for 2 semesters, and based on the
mhm,
work, their managers are going to grade them and then send their reports to the teachers. That was a good initiative. We had to make our own resumes. They told us this is what you're supposed to write. So it was an initiative by, you could say, government college university, and good names out there, because it has a certain reputation. in the government, perspective. From
Hmm.
similarly, LUMS, IB, and all those students know about that. But where are we lacking that our graduates don't even know how to, write their own resume? Why do you?
Boss,
Yeah.
yeah, so totally agree. So, I was in the university, in this university for a marketing symposium. This is what I mentioned. The curricula, what we are teaching our youth is totally different to what is required.
See.
So, within my field, I'll tell you within my field, so, a marketing agency, you know, any person who graduates, the first thing that he writes on his resume is a content creator or a content strategist, or something like why they haven't written a single blog and they start calling themselves a content creator because of all these social media apps, and
That
if
they
you have a
visit these days.
profile,
You're gonna post a
or if you have
selfie
a,
and you're gonna be a content
yeah,
creator, and you're gonna
content
think that, okay,
creator.
now I've started blogging.
Exactly, and now you're
Yes.
an influencer as well. So I totally agree with it. So the issue is with the curricula. The curricula is not updated. The curricula is not as per market, market potential. But however, what I've now seen is that there is a gradual change in the ways universities are thinking. So even, and that does not include only the tier one, the tier two, tier three universities. I have noticed all of them. People invite me left, right, and center to their universities for these sessions. They just call me up. They say, "Oh, can you help our graduates? Can you tell them how to write a resume? Can you tell them how to use storytelling for their interviews? Can you tell them, how to access the opportunities? Or can you tell them, because the entire recruitment process is now digitalized, and it has a lot, it is more scientific. So it's keyword oriented. So your CV has to be optimized as per those keywords as well. So they invite me, and what I've noticed is that this thought in itself, this thought that these things need to be done, yes, it's a trickle down effect. It's a very small, slow process. However, the process is going on. But I agree with you, we have a long way to go. But Ali, I am a firm believer of this. And I'll give just two, liners based on my experience when I started working in the UAE with no sales experience, to a point where, I worked with major clients, and from just one employee to about 42 employees
Yeah.
working here.
Yeah.
I just have one point to make. There are two qualities that I would urge the youth to have in current times. First quality is the ability to unlearn and then relearn.
Hmm.
Whatever you have in your brains, your universities have taught you, the society has taught you, you should have the ability to unlearn it. Because the way market dynamics are changing, the way the
You need to
job
know how to
market is
adapt.
changing,
That's what you're trying to say.
yes, you need to adapt. And then, you need to relearn as well. Recent example, and I know what happened to Airlift and Swivel, right?
Yeah.
Heavily funded and,
This happened in Keep
beautiful
Trucking
offices.
quite a few
Yeah,
months ago in
yeah.
Kareem, and
So,
it's happening. Now it's a
it's
norm that,
happening. So,
okay, things are
yes,
happening, people just are getting laid off, and then they're joining new
exactly.
industries in private
Because
sector, especially. Yeah.
we need to accept that, we are going through a recession stage. It's a very, very
Yeah.
tough market out there.
Very tough.
So this will keep on happening. So if you do not have the ability to unlearn whatever you have learned, then you tend to stay within the same mind frame or within the same mindset that you have been doing for very long. And ask this question from a person who got laid off from Airlift. So if he is not, or if he or she is not able to unlearn and get this off his brain, that what has happened, and now he has to move into different dimensions, then there's no point, you'll just
I think
waste
we
your
should
time.
not
So
even waste a single minute thinking about what happened,
yes, yes,
and rather
yes,
it take it as a challenge. Think about
yes,
what you've learned, and eventually it was not your fault. If you're being laid off
exactly.
because of recession, actually, you know what? Let me give you an example. I was working for Keep Truckin. I don't know if you've heard
Hmm.
the name, but
Yeah,
Keep
yeah, I have.
Truckin is actually in the logistics industry. So we had a
Hmm.
project, One Point Logistics. We were doing really good job out there. I mean, I had very good interaction with brokers, out there in US. So I took it as an opportunity, and I was loving the way I was working daily. I was interacting with different people out there. One day, they called in and they just said that, okay, sorry to tell you guys, but we're not going to go ahead and proceed. The very next day, I came up with, okay, why not just collaborating with each other? And next day, I started applying. That's it. People asked me what happened. That was the point where I told them. And at that point, there are millions of other opportunities as well. There is a lot of marketing going on. So take it as a challenge. At that time, just start applying instead of just thinking, okay, I lost. You didn't lose anything. Companies do this, and it's not your fault. Eventually, you don't have to, just feel that you were bad or something happened because of you guys. If a layoff is happening, it's happening at the upper level. It does not mean that you did not work right. And even if you did not work right and you were laid off because of
Mhm.
that, just try to unlearn and learn and relearn.
Yes.
Stop thinking about
Yes.
why. Think about positivity. So one question that I would like to add, because you talked about this, where do you think entrepreneurship can help us? Because you've been working in BSF and I know you through
Mm,
that. And I know Usman Arshad
mm,
back in BSF, and you guys were working
mm,
on that Center for Entrepreneurship and Leadership back in 2013.
mm,
What do you think, 2013 to 2022, almost 10 years, Usman? Do you
mm.
feel any change, or do you think we need to
Uh,
come up with more?
uh, uh,
Yeah.
Honestly, yes, there is a change in mindset and the
Okay.
acceptability that you can do your own business is much more. So in 2013, when we used to talk, when we went to universities, I remember at the end of each event, 5% or 3% people would come to us, or they would interact with us
Mm-hmm.
as being part of the Center for Entrepreneurship. But now when we go to universities, the percentage goes up to 25 to 30%. So, people start coming in, people start asking you questions, people start sharing their ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, sir, I want to do this particular thing. What do you think about this idea?
Yeah.
And so I think the entrepreneurial ecosystem within Pakistan is booming.
Is emerging.
There's a
Okay.
lot of there's a lot of funding opportunities available. There are homegrown VCs and angel investors
Okay.
even from within Pakistan that you can access. The cloud funding platforms are coming in. So the ecosystem is improving. These national incubation centers,
Yes.
basically a government or a policy level support that has really changed it. And most importantly, when the youth have seen successful startups, they have seen friends around them making a lot of money from, let's say, a food cart that they
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
So obviously, that has helped. So yes, the acceptability is there. However, it's a process. We still have a long way to go. We all need a lot of policy support, and I believe that we are moving in the right direction. Just last year, we got our e-commerce policy,
Yeah.
which was never there. So
We've got now
which is
platforms like
something great.
Amazon, and we are the third on
Yeah.
the top list of Amazon,
Yes.
selling in the market.
And
So
yes, and the second biggest nation or as a freelancing as well.
as a
So
freelancing,
I
yeah.
guess the mindset is changing, and which is very positive. And I'm very happy to hear this. But within it's a long process. I would say that it's a journey. It's not that it has started and it would just end. I think it's a journey, and we still have a long way
But
to go.
we need to stay firm. We need to believe in
Yes,
ourselves. We have immense
yes.
talent, and we need to create opportunities. I mean, for example, I started this session just to make sure that people are listening to us.
Mhm.
Similarly, a lot of other people joined in, and we are doing it, in our times that obviously we've got our things to do as well. But this is something that we are taking initiative on.
Ali,
Yeah.
kudos to you for this. When you contacted me and you told me about this, I was genuinely happy. And, you sent me one message, and, my immediate reply was yes, because I love
Yes.
the concept. I love the idea. Pakistan needs a lot of mentoring. We are, our youth is champions. We are hardworking. I mean, right now it's I'm in the UAE. It's 45 degrees outside, and if you go outside, you would not see a Pakistani guy working in this in the hottest possible weather. And,
Yeah.
he'll be standing outside working. We are hardworking people. And similarly, you send them to the coldest of the environment. We adapt. That's a very, very powerful thing.
Mm.
We just need to keep our mind positive, and we just have to follow a particular path. The biggest problem is that we do not have a path. We roam around. We just fall this side, then we fall
But
this
that
side. If we
itself,
have
Usman, is a capability, I guess. Trust me.
agreed,
People,
agreed,
people
agreed.
again like us in Pakistan, they're adaptable. We have immense
Yeah.
talent. If you give me, I mean,
Mm.
people are thirsty. Talk about tier three,
Yes.
let's for example. Just go to their
Mm.
village and give them an opportunity of like
Agreed.
40,000. Next day, you're gonna get 1,000 people out there. Usman, sir, I'm gonna do. Sir Ali, yes, I'm willing to do it. First thing is willingness to go ahead.
Agreed.
The first step is you have to say that you can, and we as a
Yeah.
nation have that. I understand that
No
there are
doubt.
problems, and there are problems in every country. I was having a word
Everywhere.
with a
Everywhere.
colleague in US, and she said that even in our country we are facing issues.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Philippines, in Africa, I'm not going to name any specific country, but yes, it's a worldwide problem. So Usman, in last 2 minutes that we have, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much for taking time out,
Oh,
and we
it's
hope
a
to
pleasure,
continue.
Ellie.
Yeah, we'd
Mm-hmm.
hope to continue the discussion with you if needed in
Sure.
future. And likewise, you can also collaborate with us. And you guys can
Sure.
subscribe to Youth Alumni Association for more podcasts if you guys want to know about career journey. I'll also try
Mm-hmm.
to come up with a session in which we can specifically speak about resume writing. As you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, I might ask someone, or even if you have time
Sure.
in future, we can do a session on that. So if
Sure.
even 100 200 people are getting something out of it, that would be an achievement on our side.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
uh, I mean, like you just told me that you're sitting and waiting to just shift to another hotel. I'm sitting right now, it's weekend, I understand, but 30 minutes just to help our nation, this is all we need. We just
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
more of those people to encourage us. Yeah.
See, the problem is, and just one final message, because we just have a minute left.
Yeah.
I want to tell the youth and whoever is listening, guys, sympathy never sells. So, if you start writing on LinkedIn that, I am jobless for 6 months, please help me. No, the company will not hire you based on sympathy. They will hire you based on the value that you bring in. So you have the ability to show that value to that particular company using your profile, using your resume. So do not sell sympathy is number one. Number two, and my final word would be positivity, positivity, positivity. Things are bad everywhere. Things are bad. The petrol prices are high here in the
Hiking. Yeah.
UAE and the US as well. So if we keep on cribbing about it, what's the point? So that what has happened. We have to find a way through it. And Youth Alumni Association and individuals like yourself, you're doing a great job. And even if you're able to make a difference in the life of, let's say, 10 people, I think that's worth it. So you're doing a noble job, and thank you very much for inviting me. And I would love to join in anytime in future if you would want as
Definitely,
well.
definitely. Thank you so much, Usman. I just like to add on. We
Thank you,
started
Ellie.
off, I mean, when I came to Lahore from Islamabad, from that project that we guys were working on, the
Mm-hmm.
Center for Entrepreneurship Leadership in Berry University, I had that vision. And at that time, I think it was me and just a friend of mine discussing it together. Today, we have a page, we've got 2,000 followers, we are getting subscriptions on daily basis. So the only thing is, if you are moving forward, even one like a day or one view a day makes a difference. This is not the message. I mean, I am doing good in my career as well. Even if I don't do this, I've got very good aspects and opportunities, but always go for side hustle. That would be my last message as well in this thing. Just don't stop at one thing. Okay, your primary focus should be there, but do some certifications, come up with, if you don't know how to
True.
write resume, LUMS is offering such good courses in very economical price. They're not asking for a lot of money. It's just for 25 30,000 or 15,000 rupees. You can go there and you can get a glimpse of how LUMS teaches and try to attend those seminars. There are universities who are just doing it for free as well. They're not even charging for that.
True.
So we should
True.
start using social media in a good way. Usman, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure having you with us today.
Thank
And
you, Ellie. Thank
take
you.
care
The
of yourself.
pleasure is all mine. Thank
Thank you.
you. You too.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.